All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. It is Thursday. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing. Rick, Ray, Todd, Tony, Pawn, Yi, Lee, Jim, Lost, Kato, Freddie, everybody else. What's up, guys? Good morning. Yeah, I mean, markets are basically green today. Slightly, like, I would say they're flat to slightly green. Pretty neutral. Bitcoin's still sitting right around 93,000. If you look at it, it's right at 93K this morning. Here's 93,000. 93,015 technically on spot Bitcoin. Nvidia hovering right around 180s. You know, Nvidia's been pretty flat for the last few weeks. Hasn't really gone down. It's gone down to 170 up to 185s or so, and it's been pretty much flat in that range. We had Dollar General earnings. We posted these numbers earlier. I'll put them up in chat again. They did better than expected EPS and slightly better than expected revenue. But today we got jobless claims unemployment filings going live at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. They're expected at 219,000 for jobless claims, 219,000. We also had Salesforce. I believe they reported earnings, right? Yeah, Salesforce reported earnings. They are reacting positively to that, kind of helping influence tech a little bit, I'm sure. And yeah, overall markets are pretty much flat. Yesterday saw modest gains in the S&P and NASDAQ. And Dow underperformed a little bit, reflecting some rotation into cyclicals value. Fed story gets priced in as a rate cut this month in about a week from now, 6 days. But yeah, if we're looking at the NASDAQ yesterday, let me put the QQQ up. If we're putting the QQQ up, again, we're basically flat. NASDAQ opened up red, but actually went slightly green yesterday. It looks like slightly green. No, NASDAQ opened up green, went red at the opening bell on the Microsoft news about their quota. And then I think it got bought back up because I think Microsoft actually, like, we had some news that Microsoft reversed whatever this ruling was. Amazon spokesperson says our goal is to reach an agreement with the United States Postal Service. If we take a look at Amazon here, Amazon at 232s right now, slightly green as well. Again, people are looking at Hassett to be the next Fed chairman. On before the storm. Okay. Yeah, what's the weather like? It's 50 degrees here. It's supposed to get really cold. So 50 degrees here in Houston. Which is cold for us. We don't know how to handle this weather. Usually it comes a little bit later too. Yeah, I did see some NVIDIA news. So I see NVIDIA CEO Jensen blast proposed state AI laws moments after president meeting. Reading this article, it says China took center stage, drawing sharp warnings from NVIDIA chief Jensen Huang. They're worried that this could influence semiconductor industry. So Jensen met with the current president, Donald Trump, yesterday on Wednesday to discuss the issue of chip restrictions in regards to exports. Congress is debating measures to keep advanced AI tech out of China as well. Jensen told reporters that he supports ensuring American companies have the best chips. Criticized the proposed GAIN AI Act, which could legally mandate that priority, though. He argued the bill would actually harm the U.S. and expressed relief at reports that lawmakers dropped it from the annual defense spending package. We're seeing some volatility in microchips. Yeah, you guys have it a lot colder than me. Walmart is wrecking Amazon on delivery, at least in rural. We get Walmart deliveries in 24 hours. Not me, bro. I usually get stuff same day. I'll get my packages, a lot of them, depend if they're like a small common item that people order a lot, I'll get it in like 5 hours at my door. So I think it depends on where you are. I haven't even really looked outside. I just checked the weather. Is it raining? It's not raining where I'm at. Maybe it'll snow. Warm. Houston. How cold is it where you guys live? I'm seeing a lot of answers. And Bitcoin pushing back down under 93,000 here. If we take a look at 10-year treasuries, yesterday, last time I looked, they were at like 4.06%. They've actually gone up a little bit since then. They're currently at about 4.08%. So they're a little elevated day to day. Kind of see they've crept up from yesterday's lows around 4.06. Back up to 4.085 or so this morning. If we take a look at the odds for a rate cut, they're almost back up to 90%. They're at 89.2% this morning. So at this point in time, it's looking probable that we're going to cut 25 basis points next Wednesday, on Wednesday for the Fed meeting. So yeah, 89% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut as of now. I'll do a poll here. 50 in New Orleans, which is blizzard. As long as it doesn't get down to like 35 freezing, that's where stuff really kind of hits the fan. So does today's jobless claims report show higher or lower unemployment claims? Higher. Lower is going to be the report. I'll put expected at 216,000, what it is. Yeah, this is expected. I believe it's at 219. I'm sorry. So it's expected at 219,000 for jobless claims numbers. Last time I believe they came in low, which was stronger for jobs. Vote on that poll. Let me know what you guys think. -31 in Virginia, -13. 37 Sydney. Celsius, that is. Is anybody else lagging a little bit? I mean, I'm not lagging, I don't think. I think the stream's fine. But it says we're not dropping any frames. Yeah, I'll put a timer up for jobless claims numbers. We'll also put some numbers in the chat here. Jobless claims drop in exactly an hour, 4.5 minutes. Oh, wrong button. Here's a timer. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's expected at 219,000. Again, NASDAQ slightly green, SPY slightly green. Most tech stocks are slightly green today. NVIDIA, Bitcoin's fading down a little bit over time though. NVIDIA's green. Google's pretty green. AMD's actually a little red this morning. What is good data today? I mean, like I said yesterday, I don't really know what the market wants right now. Yesterday we had weak jobs and the market reacting negatively, but I think that's just the amount that we were weak. So remember, we had the ADP employment report yesterday, it showed negative 32,000 jobs for the month of November, which is a very big miss. They expected 5 to 10,000, positive 5 to 10,000. It was negative 32,000. So a huge miss there in regards to jobs. And then tomorrow, remember, we get the PCE inflation report. It's a delayed report, but we get that. We also got in 4 minutes, we get the Challenger job cut data as well, which will be even more interesting. So again, in 4 minutes, Challenger job cut data. I'm curious to see what we get there. Previous was 153,000 when this one they forecast 98,000. But again, in 3 minutes, we get the Challenger job cut data, and we will see what that looks like. Again, it's expected. Challenger job cuts for November last time showed up for October at 153,000. Yeah, these are layoff numbers. So, yeah. Market's been kind of wimpy. We did really well yesterday, to be honest, day trading. Like, did really well. So Wolf says now is the time to buy the dip in crypto. It says the crypto market is split between bulls and bears, creating a potential buying opportunity. The firm still expects Bitcoin to bottom near 75K even after its rebound above 90, though it notes weak ETF flows and widespread declines across digital assets. Crypto has returned to a long key-term support level that has marked past turning points. Momentum indicators are improving and Bitcoin's bounce is viewed as constructive. Wolf says the next major test is the 50-day moving average at 101,000, with 100,000 as the main psychological barrier for Bitcoin right now. And I kind of agree with that. I don't know if I necessarily agree that it's going to drop down to 75K. I think it could, but I think 100K is kind of the big psychological level that's going to... People are going to watch 100,000 just because of the level that it is. 50-day moving average right around a 101, so close to that as well. So see what Bitcoin does. It's sitting at 93 roughly right now, 92.8. Yeah, I think it's going to be Hassett or Waller. I've said that many times. Hassett or Waller. I don't think it's going to be anybody else. Unemployment report's at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's in exactly an hour, really. Not exactly, but... What do you guys think good data is? Do you guys think good data is higher unemployment claims or lower? Let me know in chat. Higher unemployment claims or lower? What do you think is good? Good, right? Like, what do you think is good? I don't know. I don't think jobless claims report is going to influence Fed rate decisions too much. Again, we do have, in less than a minute, we got Challenger job cut data. So we will see what that looks like. Challenger job cuts. All right, here we go. Here's the job cut numbers in about 20 seconds. All right, guys, here's the Challenger job cut data. Again, last time was 153 roughly. You can hit the live button next to the play button, put it in 2x speed. I'm not going to title the stream or anything for this because I don't usually cover... I mean, I usually cover the Challenger job cuts, but it's not like a big thing. I think since we got a couple other reports delayed, it might be relevant. Okay, 71,000 Challenger job cuts. 71,000. 71.32 thousand is what it showed up as. Again, they expected 98K. Previous of 153K. So I don't know what the market wants. Market is kind of down a little bit from this report, but I don't necessarily think yeah, I mean, they expected 98,000, and last time we did 153,000. So a $71,000 job cut number is not really the end of the world. It came in at 71,321,000. So it could have been worse. It could have been worse. You know, I'll put this data up on screen, but it could have been worse. That's for sure. All right, so I asked people what they think the market wants. Higher claims, lower claims. Lower, we need the money, printer on. Lower claims would mean a stronger economy, less easing, less money printing. Higher claims would mean more money printing, justification. Good for the market or the economy. Lower is good, higher is bad as rate cuts are guaranteed. Lower means a lot of seasonal hiring happened. Less jobs equals good for market. I don't market trust this report too much. Rally probability just up. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, guys. See what happens, but NASDAQ actually reacted somewhat positive to this report. Again, layoffs showed up at 71,321K. 71,321. Yeah, I mean, market's up a little bit on this. I mean, market was in an upward trend anyway, though. Like, we bottomed out down here at like 625 earlier, and we kind of continue to push up, and we've kind of slowly gotten higher and higher. We're over the 200 exponential at 650s or so. And again, this is the smallest report today. The big one drops 8:30 Eastern Standard Time in about 50-something minutes. If we take a look at yields, I want to see if yields reacted to this report. In theory, yields should go up a little bit on this report, but doesn't mean that they will. Kind of varies. 4.083%. Yeah, they just jumped up a little bit. Okay, I mean, that's expected. You know, that's expected. I misspelled Challenger on my post. Go back. All right, guys. Look at this drop in the NASDAQ here, though. Look at this. What's going on here? What a pullback. I mean, as long as this isn't a fundamental catalyst, which it could be. Look at this drop. What's causing this? Take a look. Could just be a pullback. Look at that bounce right at the 200 exponential. I gotta start watching that. Yeah, Snowflake. Salesforce did well. Snowflake did not overnight. Look at Snow. I mean, this isn't why we're dropping, but yeah, I mean, 125 basis point cut is not going to save the market, but it's part of a broader easing cycle. It'll do something. Look at that bounce exactly. That's why I watched the 200 exponential on a 1-minute chart. Look at that bounce. It was literally exactly at the 200 EMA. The only reason I didn't buy, I was worried it's some type of fundamental news release. And I didn't want to, like, after yesterday's crazy drop at the open, I didn't really want to get caught in a fundamental news release. We'll go below 500 and what, Harry? That's why people do dumb stuff, because when I started training, each loss I received. Yeah, you should ask Pavlov about that, Satosh. 25.5 before market opens. I don't think so. I mean, maybe jobless claims. That's way down here, bro. We would have to make it. I mean, it's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible. We would have to come all the way down here before the bell rings. It's a big drop. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, it could happen, but I don't necessarily agree with that. Not happening. Yeah, I mean, it could happen. It's not gonna happen on just organic market movement though. Like something like that would have to be like whatever the market doesn't want to see for the jobless claims report. That needs to happen for us to drop like that. Or we could have some bad tech news. Bad tech news would dump markets, like we saw yesterday. Yesterday, if we zoom out yesterday here, we had that type of drop yesterday from Microsoft. I think Microsoft, the news was that Microsoft reduced its AI sales quota or something like that was the news. And we got a big drop like this yesterday. Then they kind of reversed the news. Like they basically said contradictory things. And we just kind of got bought right back up. And now we're back up to where we're at now. Although pre-market's kind of sideways, but we're technically green. But the range is small this morning, so to make a move all the way back down. Look at Bitcoin though. Bitcoin just popped over 93,000. How did PMI data come out for December compared to October, November? Please break down your opinion of importance to the markets. PMI is another notch in terms of what people are looking for in terms of gauging the labor market, since we have missed a lot of the October data because the government shut down. We're not getting CPI data. We didn't get an October labor report. And we're getting a November labor report, but it's not until December 16th, so after the Fed meeting, or December something, after the Fed meeting. And so because of that, people look to less conventional data releases. Like we looked at ADP yesterday, which showed negative 32,000 jobs. We looked at manufacturing PMI Monday, I think is when it showed up as. Let me see. I think it was Monday. So yeah, we looked at manufacturing PMI on Monday. And manufacturing PMI showed weakness for ISM data. The ISM manufacturing data showed weakness in manufacturing. And then yesterday, or the day before yesterday, we got ISM manufacturing PMI data. And ISM was kind of like flat. It was slightly green for ISM services. And so it's kind of mixed data. Like PMI data for manufacturing was weak. Services PMI data, like ISM services PMI, was kind of flat. So kind of neutral there. Market reacted the most to ISM services yesterday at 10 a.m. and it showed up at 52.6 versus 52. So it was kind of flat. Didn't cause too much of a reaction yesterday. But again, today we got jobless claims unemployment. And the reason jobless claims unemployment is important is because it's a more real-time look at labor. Like a lot of the stuff we're getting is lagging because of the shutdown. And so we are getting a little bit more real-time data with jobless claims unemployment. There's the SPY at 685s, so right around 685. Yeah, tomorrow we get delayed PCE inflation data. You think the Fed might do 50 given bad jobs data? No, I don't think there's any shot we do 50, even with the bad data. I don't think we're doing 50. I think it'll be hard for them to agree on 25, but I think 25 is going to happen. I think the likelihood that we are so polarized in terms of what we should do regarding 25 basis points or a pause that 50 is completely out of the question. Just if you try to like look at it objectively, I think 50 is out of the question. 50 might be more important, or 50 might do more to stimulate the economy, obviously, but it's out the question. I don't think we're doing 50. Bitcoin's still pushing up. We're at 93,113. Yeah, we're not doing 50. It's just really, really improbable. Here's the NASDAQ bouncing again at the 200 exponential, but we're still pretty sideways in range. And again, the expected number today is 219,000. We did a poll earlier. 71% think higher jobless claims reports, which would be a weaker labor market. Higher means weak labor. Yeah, Satoshi, that's just kind of a really weird comments, bro. Just really weird comments, man. They're just friendly warning. Stop being weird, bro. Friendliest warning ever, but stop being weird. 25 basis points is basically just enough to prop up the labor market. I don't even know if it'll do that. I think the broad 75 you know, in cuts that we've seen over the last 2 months, 3 months might do a little bit, but it depends on what we do next year. And I think we're gonna get it more dovish. I think Hassett's gonna be more dovish. We've had so many bargains the past few weeks. Kind of slim pickings now. Yeah, I mean we've rebounded some, so. Yeah. 3 cuts this year. Yeah. I mean, it'll do a little bit. That'll do a little bit. Depends on how long we keep cutting, but yeah. Depends on if we start easing too, which we might. Your market sentiment, cautious right now. Like, I just think it's kind of cautious. I think it's pretty likely we're going to cut rates, but I think there's still overhanging fears of weak labor and overvalued tech, and so cautious. NASDAQ starting to pop, buy starting to move, Nvidia trying to get over 180s and hold. Where's the highs of the day here? They are okay. So the highs of the day are right around the 690 level, just under 700. I'm watching 700 on the upside. If we can hold support at this previous level, but again, we're kind of choppy right now. We're not really doing anything. We got an expanding range. Apple slightly red on the day. That is pretty green. That's good. Some hustle. Tesla. Yeah, I mean, Tesla's green as well, up to 450. Tesla's volatility is just wild, though, man. This thing goes from 214 up to 446 in what, 6 months, 7 months? Like a over 100% gain. That's its lows at 214. March. Now it's at 450, basically. Wild gains for Tesla. Robotics companies are interested. They're interesting. I think, you know, I've said this once, I'll say it again. I think Markets are going to start getting involved. I think will be exclusive Christmas music. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, we'll get Christmas music probably the week leading into it. Some of this will be Christmas music, but not right now. Okay, nice hustle. Yeah, but robotics companies are going to be a big thing. I've said this once, I'll say it again. I think, again, my outlook is that if we just look at current trends and historical trends, I think pretty soon, eventually, we're going to have humanoid robots that are indistinguishable from people. I would say within like 20-something years. 20 years. And I think there's going to be like kind of stages of that where they might not be indistinguishable, but they're looking pretty close like humans. You know, they're going to implant AI into these robots, obviously, and then we're going to start seeing all this different stuff. I think it might affect a bunch of different things, to be honest, but I think that's going to be the next big money pull in markets outside of artificial intelligence is going to be robotics. And I think this is really obvious. You know, I think people already buy weird human-like dolls now. I think that dynamic is just gonna like continue, and yeah, and I think money's gonna get pulled into that for sure. Hopefully, again, like they're like Bicentennial Man versus Terminator, you know. But we'll see. It's definitely weird. Economy's in the gutter. Yeah, I mean, it's not. The labor market's definitely not looking good right now. So, man, Snowflake, is it time to buy the dip in Snowflake? What do you guys think? I mean, it's down a lot from earnings, although even where it's at now, it's still pretty green from September. Yeah, we got jobless claims, unemployment filings live 8:30 Eastern time. Yeah, MetaTrade's going good. That one hold. Yeah. Honestly, I agree with you, Pawn. I think that's probably... Pawn and I are taking the over-under on whether people get banned or not, you know. Pawn's got the under. I kind of agree with him, though. I don't really want to take the over. I don't know if that's a good bet. Amazon for robotics, maybe. What chart indicators do you reference to confirm that QE is officially starting the money is actually printing? Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them. What's the line? Christmas music when Bitcoin is over 100K. Christmas music for closers, you know. ABC, always be Christmas music. John, could bad news be good news with higher jobless claims? Yeah, I mean, certainly it could be good news. Market wants easing, right? Especially if you're, it depends on what you are. Crypto, bad news might be good news. because crypto wants easing. Bitcoin wants easing. They want money printing. And what justifies money printing more? Weakness, right? So higher jobless claims numbers might justify more money printing and thus benefit Bitcoin is what it is. But we'll see. Yeah, SPY near all-time high. NASDAQ all-time high is like 26.4s, I think. SPY is about $5 away from all-time highs. Maybe closer than that, actually. All right, look at the NASDAQ push up again. We're in a really tight range, though, leading into this jobless claims unemployment report. Yeah, like if it's really bad, I don't think it's good. Like yesterday, again, we had the ADP employment report showed negative 32,000 jobs. And markets definitely reacted negatively initially to that. And so bad news isn't always good news for sure. And I think if it's really bad, it induces panic. Yeah. You have a trading course, not a paid one. There's some free ones on YouTube that are old. Check them out. NASDAQ just popped up. Again, highs of the day are right around 700s. We're at 670s right now. So high of the day are right around 694 is the high of the day. See if we get higher than that. We're kind of choppy right now, though, but we're starting to push out of that range here. So let's see if we continue back up. I guess is the market already decided where it's going on the report? Might get an initial head fake. Yeah, I mean sometimes the first move is the wrong move. You can't tell us the Fed isn't going to stand up and take notice of that report. What, jobless claims? Yeah, I mean I think they kind of have to because we don't have an ADP. We don't have an NFP report prior to the next Fed meeting, right? So they're going to look at ADP data. They're going to look at jobless claims data. They're probably looking at Challenger job cuts. Challenger job cuts again came out earlier. They showed up at, what did they show up at? 71.32 thousand versus 98,000 expected, 153,000 last time. And so Challenger job cuts were less than expected, which is strength. But in terms of importance, ADP's report is important, kind of the prelim NFP report. So I think the Fed's probably looking at the ADP report, as well as jobless claims, which is a more real-time look to see if we should cut rates, you know. I don't know, non-Mag 7 robotics companies. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Some of the Mag 7s are just too expensive. So let me know your favorite non-Mag 7 robotic companies. Take a look. I don't know if it's me or my region, but definitely hearing more frequently about how bad the labor market is right now. Yeah, I mean, I've heard, for me, it's mostly about the data that we're getting now. Most of the data's been bad. You know, ADP reports negative. On a weekly perspective, on a monthly perspective, it showed negative 32,000 jobs yesterday. NFP reports over the last 6 months have not been good, except for last time, which showed 100 and I think 18,000 or something big. But either way, we've seen a lot of weakness reports in labor, and so yeah, like I said, I think we should cut rates this month, and I think the Fed understands this, even with, you know, them arguing with the president arguing with them. I think the Federal Reserve understands we have to be proactive in regards to rate cuts. If we're too late, if the labor market turns too quickly, you know, it can cause problems. So bad to a point, I think. Bad to a point. What's up, dude? Love you, bud.
Love you, Dad.
Have a good day at school, man. All right. You look cool today, bro. All right, dude. Hey, this afternoon. Don't say it on stream. This afternoon. Because I don't want them freaking knowing. Love you, bud. Have a good day, man. Hey, for a Santa hat. You saw my son here, bro. He had a Santa hat on. He's ready. He's living life in a Santa hat. Rate cut to help with people living, but some are borrowing money just to play in the stock market. Big dollar is good for the Fed. Yeah, maybe. All right. Thank you for the donation, Lee. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. I'll get one. You know, we ordered some Santa hats and somebody stole them. This is a true story. We ordered Santa hats. Somebody stole our Santa hats, bro. They're not even good Santa. Like, I'm sure they were disappointed. They're like, ooh, what do we get in this package? It's 2 really cheap Santa hats. Surprise. You know, you're an idiot. Whoever stole it, great job. You got 2 Santa hats worth $5. You know, but still. Like I said, if somebody tries to steal from our house, they're going to be unpleasantly surprised because we don't order anything expensive. If it's expensive, we go buy it in the store. You know. So again, U.S. yields in the dollar have slightly gone up in quiet trade, but follows the slowdown in challenger layoffs. All right, guys, market's coming back down here. Market's coming back down. Are we getting a Santa rally this year, guys? Let me know. Is this one now? I mean, if you take a look at the SPY here, you put up like an hourly chart. I mean, this is definitely a rally. SPY was at 650 mid-November. Has the Santa rally come early, or are we going to get another one later? As a day trader, do you recommend having a second kid or stop at one? It depends on your situation. I mean, I think it's good to just have as many kids as possible. You know? So. I was kind of screwing up until I had kids. I really was. You know, I wasn't screwing up bad, but like, I wasn't as ambitious or... I mean, I was young, so I mean, it didn't matter. But kids will get your mind right, you know. Yeah, I'm not mad at you if you don't either. Live your life, you know. Hey, good morning. Yeah, Snowflake gapping down big. The Snowflake rebound. I'm thinking about buying Snowflake on the dip, just for a cheap entry. It's definitely not risk free. I did this with Meta and got beat up a month or 2 ago. I read 245s, Nvidia at 180s. Visa is Goldman thinks the copper breakout above 11,000 won't last. Again, U.S. employers made 71,321 new layoff announcements in November, bringing the 25 total up to 1.17 million layoffs. Marks the first year with 1.1 million job cuts since 2020. Again, the dollar has been gaining gradually, but it kind of dipped back down under the previous close. Again, the Challenger layoff report for November saw the pace of layoffs slow to 71,000. Treasury bills have also seen gradual downside since data, but it's been small. Posted a Tupac gif. Isn't spamming more engagement? I mean, yes. but it's kind of like, I mean, I don't care that much. But if every time I look at you, you're saying the same thing, trying to pump up some, you know, I'm in XRP right now. But if every time I look at you, you're trying to, you're not commenting on what's going on, you're just kind of spamming the same thing, trying to pump up something, I think we have to frown on it, right? Wouldn't you guys rather me frown on that than allow it? Because if I allow it, then everybody's going to start trying to pump up penny stocks next, and then it's going to just turn sketchy, and I'd rather just not do it. I like Sprouts. Yes, frown. Top 3 frowners ever. I'll take a picture and I think I'm smiling. I look at it. I am just angry, it looks like. All right, NASDAQ starting to flush down. Let's look at 650 here. We're under the 200 exponential. C3 AI. How's that one behaving, man? That one was so hyped up when it first came out, and it just gave all of it back. This thing went to 180s within a year after IPOing. It's at $15 a share now for C3. I haven't heard much about it lately. Kroger just posted earnings. The Kroger earnings are out. Right, look at 650 here. Do I want to buy this dip and bet on more chop? Do I want to buy this dip and bet on more chop? Kind of. All right. We'll start small and add to it if we're right. We didn't quite get 250 or 650, but that's all right. Bitcoin fading down a little bit too. The range is small, so I'll add another 2 down there at 650 if we get it. Oh, now we're green on this here. We added 4 here. Hop right back up there. Look at Bitcoin falling down a little bit. You get jobless claims, unemployment drops in 25 minutes. At 25 minutes. Expected at 219,000. Look at Bitcoin. Whoa. I'm gonna cut this just because I can't see the catalyst for Bitcoin, at least some of it. Look at Bitcoin. We're gonna get out basically flat right here just because I don't see what's driving Bitcoin down. Jobless claims are significantly lower than around 200,000. Then will odds change for the rate cut in December? The odds would change a little bit, but we're so close to the next Fed meeting. It's in 6 days that it's probably not going to change that much, realistically, unless it's a big decrease. You know, like 120 or something crazy. That'll switch the odds. But even still, I think we're going to cut rates December 10th, regardless. Yeah, look at Bitcoin. Last 3 candles have been big. I'm looking at news. I don't really see much. Russia's second largest bank, VTB, is going to launch Bitcoin and crypto trading next year. Maybe that's what's moving it, but Weird. Maybe I should have held this, but sometimes Bitcoin can precede big market moves. All bags 7 are green, but Nasdaq is negative. Apple's red. AMD's red. I don't think it's mag 7, but you know. Netflix is slightly green. Amazon. Most things are flat, to be honest, in the mag 7. Like if you look at this, Amazon, mostly flat. Google, green. Apple, red. Meta, green. Netflix, basically flat. What else am I missing? Microsoft, green. So things are flat to green. I should have held this. I would have made money on that trade, but that's all right. Yeah, we got the Japanese rate decision on the 18th. That's important for sure. Yeah, we got the Japanese rate decision on the 18th. I don't like holding Bitcoin and circulating only because of fraud. All fraud exchanges took Bitcoin when fraud influencer went viral. Bitcoin pop. Now it's all out. Yeah, but big money controlling it, I think, is a optimistic thing. Okay, so Redfin did say something just now. Okay, so Redfin basically said that even though mortgage rates have come down from their peak, housing costs are still too high for many would-be buyers, according to Redfin. You see that in chat right now. If it's too flat, that's why I went foreign. Hawkish cut or dovish cut. I don't know. We'll see what kind of tone he has. I'm not sure. I think neutral tone. 25 basis point cut is what we're gonna get. Redfin says the supply of U.S. homes for sale rose 5.1% year over year during the 4 weeks ending in November 30th. Kind of putting some of this catalyst out right now. We also saw a bunch of news. Again, Goldman's chief strategist retiring after 31 years. He sees opportunities with consumer and healthcare stocks as well as those that make more revenue from AI. Netflix and Paramount are now the favorites to buy Warner Bros., but investors don't necessarily like it. Again, Salesforce is up. Snowflake is down. The president's also been pushing for those little mini cars that they have overseas. I should have held. Guys, I should have held again. All right, guys. Jobless claims unemployment. 20 minutes. Netflix says this goes. The jobless claims unemployment report is at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. There's a timer in the bottom left corner of the screen. We got about 19 minutes left. Of snow. A lot of overseas stuff going on. Where's oil at this morning? Oil's back up some still. Alright guys, so we're coming back down. I could have held that position here. Here's oil. This is people talking about gold. Yeah, I mean, higher claims will probably make gold go up. Gold wants easing. It can vary, but gold generally wants easing, so higher claims will make gold go up, probably. Is there really a... problem with the trifold, and the trifold's cool. It's almost like a monitor, right? But the problem with it is that it's so... Like, I had a Z Fold for years and years. It's heavy. Heavy. So I worry about this. It's cool, though. And you also sometimes get, like, bubbles and, like... in the screen. All right, guys, NASDAQ coming right back down here. It's now under 650s, still falling. Gold is falling down a little bit. Again, we got about 18 minutes until claims come out. Yeah, I heard the new ones aren't heavy. I didn't have the new one. To be honest, I bought a cheap phone. It was like 120 bucks, or so. It was like $200. It was supposed to just be temporary, but then I never saw that much of a difference between that and the $1,000 plus phones that I normally buy, and so I just never bought a new expensive phone. I've been sitting on the cheap one, you know. And so I don't know what that says about phones. Look at the NASDAQ fall down here, chat. Look at this, NASDAQ coming down. U.S. issues travel alert to Venezuela. Calls on citizens to leave the country immediately. I don't know if that's what's driving this. Could be because oil's spiking up a little bit. All right, we're at 650 here, 650. Here's to see what 650 does. Bitcoin's still sitting at 92.6 this year. We got jobless claims unemployment in 16 minutes. We got about 1,000 people here already. We appreciate it. Again, let me know, do you guys think higher or lower numbers here? Higher or lower numbers? Michael Saylor says orange is beautiful. Has Burry been speaking? Let's do what Burry said. Really? Looking at our poll number, 71% think higher claims is what we get today. 71%. NASDAQ still falling here, 640s, 639s. Look at this dip here, chat. So we're starting to see a correction. Nvidia dipping down. This is mostly driven by Nvidia, but check others. Yeah, it looks Nvidia related, microchip related. Still dropping. Kramer said it's a goodbye. Uh-oh. Not sure what's wrong, but NASDAQ orders work fine. Bitcoin futures orders keep getting rejected. Bitcoin futures orders are usually a little bit less liquid. I'm not sure why they're rejecting. You gotta ask your platform, brother. I'm not sure. But Bitcoin orders are usually a little bit less liquid. All right, guys, 14 minutes. Yeah, MicroStrategy. I always call it MicroStrategy, just out of habit. 186 is this morning. It's up a little bit the last few days with Bitcoin though, but man, look at a 4-hour chart on this thing. This thing has gotten beat up from 360 all the way down to 180s here. So, I mean, Bitcoin had a big correction, so I mean, not a shock to see MicroStrategy struggle a little bit. Should be fine long term. I want Bitcoin 50 to 55,000. Yeah, I mean, if it drops there, I'm buying it too, but or better than yesterday's pre-market drawdown. Yeah. Right before the open too, Microsoft tanked the market, and then it just got bought right back up and ended green. So yesterday's a weird day. You're trading futures, Monty? If you're trading stocks, it's going to get rejected every day in pre-market. But futures, you got to, for stocks, you got to use EXT orders in pre-market. For futures, you should be able to mark it in and mark it out. I don't know why it's getting rejected. It depends on your platform, brother. Taylor's overextended MicroStrategy. Any or low-key buying and prep for a Santa rally? Maybe. I guess 12 minutes here. Yeah, 12 minutes. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. We appreciate it. Oh, I don't know then, brother. All right, guys, we got about 12 minutes. Ready. Again, we did have challenger layoffs come out. Odds of a rate cut are 89.2%, basically where they were yesterday. Haven't really moved too much. Only about a 10% chance of a pause. MicroStrategy, JP Morgan, 5% BlackRock, Vanguard. What's your expectations of the jobless claims numbers and market reactions? I mean, I think we're going to cut rates regardless. And so, you know, I'm not sure what kind of reaction we're going to get. I think we're going to cut rates regardless of what this jobless claims number shows up within reason. Like if it shows up super, super low, maybe it's going to move the odds a little bit in terms of rates, but I still think we're going to cut. If it shows up super, super high, that's just going to increase the odds of a cut even more and might confirm rate cuts. So that's the way I think it's going to influence things. In terms of market reactions, I think, and again, I'm not an investment professional, guys. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. I can't guarantee anything. Don't copy me. I'm not liable if you lose money. Top 3 least knowing person in the world right now in terms of trading. Don't copy me. But yeah, in terms of market reactions to jobless claims, I'm not sure. I think I think we could be in a bad news is good news scenario within reason. If it's slightly lower, if it's super low, it might induce panic and markets might freak out. And so I think it could go a lot of different ways. And in terms of how the market responds, I'm not really sure. I'd rather be honest about that than give out some big bold prediction trying to look like a genius, you know. So we get a way higher than expected jobless claims. I think the odds for January will increase a lot. Yeah, I think those might. As of now, the odds for January are still, it's looking like we're not going to cut in January as of now. About 66% chance that we're not going to cut in January. About 26% chance that we do cut 25 basis point cuts in January and December. Only about a 7.5% chance that they might stay the same. I was thinking about shorting 650. And I should have, I guess, but we're getting kind of close to these jobless numbers, so I don't necessarily want to get too greedy ahead of it. We got 9 minutes left. So jobless claims, unemployment comes out. Not a genius. Top 3 least geniuses. Least genius people in the world right now. All right. I mean, I appreciate it, but definitely not a genius. Jobless claims unemployment will be high for sure. Nothing's for sure. What's up, Chef? Tiny. I don't know about NASDAQ short or long. I don't know. We're starting to give back some of these gains in pre-market. It looks bearish right now, but this is obviously subject to change. Bitcoin bouncing up a little bit after dropping as well. Microchips are what dropped the market earlier this morning. Job data will show a marked deterioration, I think. Rate cuts. Yeah, maybe. Jobless claims numbers today are specifically from previous week, right? So these are jobless claims. The reason jobless claims are relevant every week is because they're more real-time unemployment numbers, right? Unemployment's usually lagging. Labor reports lagging, especially right now with the government shutdown. And so the reason jobless claims report is relevant is because it's less lagging. It's from the previous week. And so because of that, it's relevant for labor, especially heading into the rate decision on Wednesday next week. So it's expected at 219,000, 219K is what it's expected at. Previous time it showed up at 216,000. Yeah, I don't know what's bullish either. I think the market wants rate cuts generally, and weaker jobs means more justification in cuts and easing. But conventionally, stronger labor is better. You know, and so I think we're somewhere in the middle right now. I'm not really sure how the market responds to this. I know the market reacted negatively to yesterday's super weak number. So I think after a point, like after a certain amount of weakness is really bad, you know, because like if it's too weak, it means we might be a little bit closer to like deterioration in the labor market than expected, and that might induce like a panic. And yesterday, again, we expected 5 to 10,000 jobs for the ADP employment report, and we ended up showing negative 32,000, and the market reacted negatively. U.S. Transportation Security Secretary Duffy says they will be altering the rules to allow for micro cars, according to CNBC. The problem with those micro cars is that I live in Texas. Like, bro, most cars are trucks. Most vehicles are trucks on the road. You're not going to catch me in one of these little baby cars. No freaking shot. I'm not driving around a bunch of trucks in a Hot Wheel. Okay? No chance. No chance. Yeah, rate cuts are good. Emergency cuts are bad. It's correct. That's why, like, after a certain point of weakness. Anybody physic here? I'm definitely physic. Sorry, I gotta mess with you. I'm assuming you meant psychic. But you said physic. I'm definitely physic here. I might drive a Mini Cooper. I'm not gonna drive one of these little baby cars though they're talking about. Bullish will be a weak labor market. Yeah, again, like I said, you're not going to catch me on the... I'm in the land of big oil, dude. I'm not driving that little baby car around here. A risk. All right, guys, less than 5 minutes here. Less than 5 minutes. Yeah, y'all want to know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about these right here. I'll show you a picture. I think the president's been hyping them up. And again, I'm not just... Let me find these little baby cars. Still looking. Okay. Micro cars is what these things are called. I'm having a hard time finding one. Okay. Here's some of them. Again, 4 minutes until jobless claims. You're not going to catch me on one of these. All right. You're not gonna catch me in one of these. No shot. All right, guys. Again, jobless claims unemployment expected at 219,000 here, 219K. Here we go. Jobless claims expected at 216,000, 216K. They drop in not that long. Or they expected at 219, I'm sorry. Give me your last minute predictions on these numbers here, chat. I mean, I'd probably fit in one. I wouldn't be comfortable though. As a kid, I always wanted a Power Wheel and never really got one. So maybe now's my time to buy a micro car. Again, I'm not doing it. But all right, we're right at the 200 exponential. Again, labor data might move markets a little bit more depending on what the data shows. If it's as expected, it might be kind of flat number here. We also have continuing claims expected at 1.96 million, 1.96. Let me know what you guys think the number is going to be. I see 241, 200, head fake. 216, 250,000 plus, 227. Yeah, that car probably hurt my knee. I agree. It's hard for me to get in my cars now. My knee. Again, 92,860s. 192, 207, 220, 263. You tall? Not really. I'm like 5'10". Yeah. All right, we're at 650s here. Here we go. We got about a minute left, guys. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. You'll catch up to the stream. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. We got a minute left. I'm gonna put the timer in time. I'm gonna close the timer down. It's a little bit early. I'll put gold up here to see how gold reacts to this. We're gonna watch yields as well. Gold's been spiking up for the last few minutes though. Bitcoin has as well. Nasdaq has as well. So, all right, guys, here we go. Again, hit the live button. Make sure you're caught up to the stream. Amazon is exploring cutting ties with USPS, building its own delivery network. All right, here we go, guys. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Again, hit the live button. Data's about to come out right now. Again, expected at 216 or 219. Here we go. 10 seconds. Here's the report. And it's right now. All right, waiting here, guys, waiting. All right, 191,000, 191,000. 191K versus 219 expected. 191K versus 219 expected. Jobless claims showed less claims than expected, stronger for the labor market. Again, 191. Again, versus expected 219K. Previous of 216,000. Continuing claims showed 1.939 thousand, so less than expected. They expected for continuing 1.943, so less than expected everywhere, guys, everywhere. Nasdaq has kind of flat reacted to this. It hasn't We haven't really picked a direction here, but again, we showed up at 191,000 versus 218K expected. 191,000 versus 218K expected. So way better than expected here. Now, this might move odds a little bit. Somebody did ask if it came in sub. Yeah, I'll put these numbers up. Again, continuing claim showed 1.939 million, so a little bit less than the 1.961 expected number here. Here's both of these numbers in chat right now. We're scrolling at the bottom of the screen as well here. So again, stronger than expected. The NASDAQ is falling here on less likelihood of rate cuts. I mean, I still think we're going to cut rates, but if we take a look at yields, this is where I would watch it in terms of yields. Yields are probably going to be spiking on this news because yields and interest rates follow each other. So less jobless claims is going to make a higher interest rate sentiment. And yeah, yields are spiking up on this report. Spiking up on this report. Again, less than expected. Stronger labor market than expected here. They get 191,000 here, chat. 191,000. $191,000 yields are up. These are going to influence odds a little bit at least. I still think we're probably going to cut rates. But I mean, a stronger labor market is a stronger labor market, and that's what this shows, is a stronger labor market. You'll get yield spike continuously here. They're at 4.106%. Again, 4.106%. Interesting. Market reacted negatively to this report, which is kind of like bad news is good news and good news is bad news scenario, like we said. Interesting. Yeah, so here's the report if you actually want to see it here. All right, so in the week ending November 29th, let me get yields out the way. The advanced figure for initial claims was 191, a decrease of 27 from the previous week. This is the lowest level for initial claims since September 24th, 2022, when it was 189,000. The previous week's level was revised up by 2 from 216 to 218. The 4-week moving average 214.75, a decrease of 9,500 from the previous week's revised average. The previous week's average was revised up by 500 from 223,750 to 224,250. So we did get a revision. The advanced seasonally adjusted insured unemployment rate was 1.3% for the week ending November 22nd, unchanged from the previous. The advanced number for seasonally adjusted insured unemployment during the week, November 22nd, was 1.939 million, a decrease of 4,000 from the previous week. And so, yeah. Stronger labor data than expected. Yield spiking. Hey, nice. Can you explain the report yesterday that caused the market to drop? I mean, there's a couple reports. One of them was the ADP report that showed negative 32,000, and this is kind of different numbers. This is a weekly report, right? So you got to understand, this is previous week that we're looking at. This is the week ending November 29th. This was last week. Just to put this into perspective, this was the previous week. I kind of want to short this. I'm going to try shorting it here. See what happens. See if we continue down. I still think we're cutting rates, but let me take a look at the Fed Watch tool. Sure, this is changing, or will change. It might take a little time though. There we go. Yes, sir. I'm gonna add to this now. Take a third off. A little bit more off down here, and then we're going to cut the rest green. You'll love to see it. But yeah, odds haven't changed in terms of the CME rate tool yet, but again, you do see yields are up to 4.1%. They were at 4.06% yesterday. Higher interest rate sentiment. I'm going to short this again up here. Might add to it and take some risk. 650 is kind of my exit though. Interesting. I'm gonna reduce my size a little bit now. I need to. If we break down again. Hold on, guys. That was nice. My daughter forgot to say bye to me. Called me to tell me. You know? Good kid, just a good kid. Anyways. Again, I'm in this here. We're kind of flat now. I want to see if we break down some. There we go. I'm going to start cutting this now. Port back into this here. There we go. Kind of undecided, but yeah. Stronger jobless claims. 100... What do we show up at? 191,000? 191K here. Got 191,000. Again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Great way to learn how to day trade. This is what I'm day trading on right now. It's a funded account on Top Step. We'll see if it holds. Great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money. This one is the 50K combine, but we got a bunch of them. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, gold, commodities. It's a good way to learn. I need to cut this, it looks like here. Getting some volatility. But yeah, just a great way to learn. They're a sponsor of mine. Of course, I'm biased, but they recently reduced the activation fee overall, and they also gave you a no activation fee option. And so really, really useful. Really, really useful. Again, I'll put the link up if you want to help support the channel. They're a sponsor of mine. I am biased. I get paid by them. Great way to learn. Here's the link. I'll put the pin it to the top of the chat. Understand all the stuff on screen, though. Yeah, the data just seems weird. It's different from the previous data. Am I going to be greedy and short this again? I think so. We're going to keep it smaller, though. The range is big. I'm trying to get a long-term breakdown trade in here. I think this is going to push back odds of a rate cut and market might correct a little bit leading into the opening bell. But again, this is just a theory. I might be wildly wrong. Straight up guess here. I'm going to take like a third off and just wait. Keep it small size. ADP is what you have to look on. Yeah, ADP data was weak. Negative 32,000. And then this jobless claims report showed way more strength in the labor market than expected here. Way less claims. Again, just to put this into perspective, jobless claims unemployment filings are how many people are filing for unemployment week to week, right? So less claims is stronger for the labor market. It means less people filed for unemployment. Yes, you are wrong. I mean, I told you guys a bunch of times. I don't think it matters. I think we're going to cut rates December 10th. Next Wednesday, I think we're cutting rates. Regardless of these numbers. I don't think these numbers were weak enough to justify, or strong enough to justify not cutting. I think we're going to cut rates. I think we've seen too much weakness everywhere in the labor market. It might decrease the odds a little bit, though. You know, I don't think, but just to put this into perspective, I think we're going to cut rates. Right. Okay, so my theory was correct here. I just got faked out a bunch beforehand, which is fine. Do I want to add to this and take another risk here on this bounce? I think so. All right. Go. I'm going to take half off there now. Break down a little bit more. A little bit more. Try to hold this one close to break even. I'd love it to break down more though here. It's kind of a, yeah, there we go. All right. Maybe I'll be greedy, but I like a little bit more, and I'll hold this break even if I need to. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cut it right there flat on the rest. How can we get opposite report from ADP? Well, because ADP data is private payroll data. So, yeah, and ADP numbers were for November. This was technically the last week of November. So I'm not sure. To be honest, I trust the ADP data a little bit more. Just based off of what has shown to be more accurate. Like, we've got a lot of revisions in government data. Again, Reuters now saying that they expect the Fed to cut rates. Reuters poll shows most economists expect the U.S. Fed to cut Fed funds rate by 25 basis points on Wednesday next week. And I kind of agree with that. And I've said this many times. I think they're going to do 25, 25, 25 this year. As of now, that's what it's still looking like. Even if we look at the Fed Watch tool right now, let's take a look. The rates, like I said, I think this is going to reduce the rates, at least the odds a little bit, but it's still pretty probable. So yeah, as of now, it's reduced the odds by about 2%. So it's 2% less likely we're going to cut rates, but still almost 90% likely that we're going to cut rates is what it looks like. But again, even with it being a small odds change, I still think the market might fall down a little bit from it because the market wants rate cuts. And that's kind of what we're seeing. So that thesis was a little bit correct so far. We'll see if it confirms it more as time goes on. Remember 3 weeks ago, bro, I had people arguing with me a lot about how we're going to pause rates in December. And again, I stuck with my thesis. 25, 25, 25 is what I'm going with. Anybody that's been watching the stream for a month or two understands, like, that's my thesis. 25, 25, 25, meaning 25 in September, 25 in October, 25 in December is what I think we're going to do. Cuts, 25 basis point cuts. And I think that's the most probable thing as well. So I'm basically just betting on the most probable outcome. And I think we're too close to the next Fed meeting to really change that tune, especially based off of weekly data. You know, I think we're going to be cutting rates in December. You know? The Royal London Asset Management CIO, Will Nickel, warns that markets are likely to face increased volatility driven by geopolitical tensions, economic uncertainty, and shifting sentiment around AI. He also highlights rising debt levels, noted that many debt to GDP ratios are now higher than what would have alarmed economists in the 1990s, raising doubts about how long government can sustain current spending levels. Again, jobless claims fell to 191, which is the lowest level since 2021. Yeah, they wanted Christmas music. Listen, you got Christmas music. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Again, we're going to be day trading the opening bell live, so stick around. Jobless claims did show up. Let me change my title. Do you like these numbers for jobless claims? Do you think these numbers are good or bad? Let me know. I'll end this poll. Are you bullish or bearish for the opening bell today? There you go. Yeah, tomorrow's PCE will influence rate probabilities by a lot. It's delayed data. I don't know. Unless PCE inflation, which is expected, I believe, at 2.9%, unless PCE inflation shows up wildly high, I don't think it's going to move the base case. Even with it, even if it does, I don't think it's going to move the base case. I still think the base case is going to be a 25 basis point cut on December 10th, on Wednesday next week. I mean, that could always be different, but I don't necessarily think so. Again, I did this poll. 55% are bullish, 55% are bullish, 45% are bearish. Look at Bitcoin fall down here. Bitcoin's at 92.5s. Gold's kind of choppy. Nvidia's choppy as well, but yeah, I'm kind of neutral here. Reminds me of that song in the year 2525. What is going on here? I don't hate it, but I gotta change it. I'm sorry. 2525. What is that? Halo years? We go perma bull. We can't lose. Top 3 biggest perma bulls in the world right now. A lot of people are gonna agree with that statement. I'm not even a perma bull. All right, I'm looking at yields here, guys. Yields at 4.09%. NASDAQ falling down. Top 3 best short ever, bro. I gotta hold, like, I scalp these markets. But I don't know if it's just lately. I've been scalping, getting in and out. And then the direction just continues. You know? So I'm basically left getting in a trade that capitalizes on, like, this type of move. And then markets end up doing this. You know? And I'm left getting this profit versus this profit. Bro, I was feeling that song. I get it, man. Listen. Can't have vocals, though. Yeah, the second I try to do that, Jacob, biggest upswing in markets. Sure, yeah, 100% noodle. Profit is profit. I'm happy about it. Listen, I'm glad to be green on the trade, but again, 89 of 108 economists see Federal Reserve cutting Fed funds rate by 25 basis points December 10th. Does anybody think that we're not going to cut rates on December 10th? Show yourselves if you do. If you do not think we're cutting rates December 10th, I'm curious. And if you don't think we're cutting rates, it's not about, listen, it's not about whether you think we should or shouldn't. It's about what you think will actually happen. You know, you might think we shouldn't cut rates, but it doesn't change the odds that we're going to, most likely at this point in time. We're going to raise rates. If you genuinely believe that, Omar, you have no idea what you're talking about, sir. But you're allowed to think it. You're wrong, but you're allowed to think it. It's okay. I think we do, but yeah. I think it'll probably happen unless inflation shows higher. I agree. I mean, I think we'd have to have really, really high inflation to influence the odds. And I think even with high inflation, we're still cutting Wednesday. So. It's not up to just Powell, though. It's up to all of the Fed members voting on it. Yeah, I mean, I think we're cutting rates, guys, as well. I think even regardless of the PCE inflation, which is September delayed data, I think we're going to be cutting rates. It doesn't matter. The Japanese rate decision is not going to be until after the next Fed meeting. We're cutting rates. Fortunately, we're cutting. Yeah, I think we're cutting. Honestly, and I disagree with a lot of you. I think we should cut. Just because the labor data has been weak. Since everyone expects a rate cut, how much will it help markets? Well, I think the markets are green over the last week or two because the expectation that we're going to cut rates has gone up like a lot over the last week and a half. And so you see markets kind of reacting to that and getting baked into that case. And that's why we see markets up. Inflation is our biggest problem. I mean, it's a reasonable argument. I think current inflation rate's not extraordinarily high. Again, PCE is expected at 2.9%. You know, is it good? No. Is it bad? No. It's somewhere in the middle. It's not like inflation's like it was in 2022 or 2023 where it was like 8-9%. It's at 2.9%, you know. Do they want 2%? Sure. But, all right, NASDAQ's still flushing down here. Do you feel 2.9%? Depends on what we're talking about. Yeah, so... here's a report from yesterday, guys. I want you guys to look at some of these numbers from yesterday, though. All right, so again, here's the ADP report. Where we're seeing the most weakness in labor. Again, negative 32,000 jobs for November is what it showed. Negative 32K jobs, right? Originally, this said negative 31,000, and so I think they had an error, and they updated it sometime. Where we're seeing most of this is small businesses, right? So small businesses... between 1 and 50 employees, 1 and 49 employees, lost ridiculous amounts. Like 120 something thousand jobs lost by these sizes here. 100, a little bit under 120, but still. Big job misses here. Big job misses. For small businesses. Mid-sized businesses actually gained. The mid-size and large here actually gained. So we're seeing most of the net effect, the negative effect, being in small establishment-sized businesses between 1 and 49 employees here. That's where we're seeing most of the weakness in jobs right now, according to ADP, which is a private organization. So this is where we're seeing most of the weakness. Just to put all that stuff into perspective. Historically, inflation can topple central banks much more readily than unemployment, forcing recession to stimulation, preferable to stagflation. Yeah, but stagflation precedes a recession a lot of the time also, you know? So, like, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but stagflation and then a recession and then stimulation, not good either. I'm not going to go into agree or disagree. I would go with, like, Lincoln. That's all I'm going to really say. Yeah, maybe. Matthias. Right, exactly. So the thing about jobless claims is people who lose jobs and qualify for unemployment claims, 100%. And then there's a lot of people that don't fit into that box. So. Distributors price seems sideways on the E-mini right now. I struggle to see trends. Yeah, I mean, price seems sideways to me personally. It depends on how long time depends on the time frame. We've been moving up for the last week or so, but sideways today for sure. We're right around the previous close. Previous closing prices right around 68.64, 68.65. The S&P E-mini, which is right around where we're at now. I mean, the Nasdaq has been downtrending since 7:30 market time. So here's 7:30 market time. It is now almost 9. There's about an hour and a half of downtrending to where we're at now. What I see here. We could look at the trends and see a little bit more trends, but you know, downtrending for the last hour and a half is what I'm showing. All right, guys. Oh, we have some other stuff coming out this afternoon. Hold on, let me see. Or this morning, later this morning. Let me look. Hold on. I got so many Fed watch tools up. I gotta exit out of some of these Fed watch tools. I really do. Let me see if the odds have changed much though. But look, 89% again. Are we back up to 89%? Yeah. Odds didn't change that much. Yields are at 4.08% right now. Still elevated on the day, but not as much. Yeah, I mean, the only thing we got at 10 is core durable goods. I don't think that's going to move stuff. Tomorrow we got PCE inflation. Michigan consumer sentiment. So we'll see what that looks like as well. Wait, why is tomorrow's data coming out at 10 a.m.? I just realized it's coming out at 10 a.m. versus 8:30. Weird. Is this RuneScape? Yeah, this is it right here. Let me get my wizard hat right now. I'm gonna put it on right now. Fun fact, I am a direct descendant of Giles Corey, which was the first man executed in the Salem witch trials. True. He's the guy in the Crucible, the more weight guy in the Crucible. Nvidia up to 180s. Yeah. See a big correction coming. Question is what's going to be higher. I don't know, man. We'll see. S&P now technically red for the day a little bit. Nasdaq at 25,634s. Look at this big pop in the Nasdaq. It looks news related though. It could be just the 9 a.m. scrum actually in hindsight. Again, Amazon says the U.S. Postal Service is long-standing and trusted partner and remain committed to working together. Do you believe them? Yeah. Yeah, it's a true story. That's true. I really am a direct descendant. But the story behind it's a little bit like, okay, at the time they were going crazy. Look at the Nasdaq pop here. Look at Nvidia pop up to 180.6. Here, let me talk about this first. Look at this pop. I think it's just 9 a.m. pop. Meta Zuckerberg plans up to 30% cuts for metaverse efforts. So again, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg plans up to 30% cuts for the metaverse. Is this going to benefit them? Yeah, so Meta's flying up on this news on job cuts. Essentially better margins is what this is. And look at Meta pop. So this is why the market's up right now. Again, this is up on Meta. Zuckerberg is planning up to 30% cuts for metaverse efforts. And again, this is, you know, popping. Fun fact, I am in Meta right now. I love to see this. You love to see it right now. You gotta love it. I'm gonna take a little bit off it here in a second, but man, look at this run. Again, Meta planning 30% cuts for metaverse efforts. Meta shares are up 4% in pre-market. We're at 670 right now. 670. I wonder if this is affecting everything else here. It is time for me to take some more profit here on Meta. You know what? Where are we at right now? Take a little bit off here. Hold on. Take a little bit more off here. All right, I'll sit on the rest. Apple's not reacting to it. Nvidia's not reacting to it. Man, look at Meta right now. You love to see it. 670s right now on this news. 670s. So yeah, they're going to cut the metaverse, which they should be already. They're going to cut metaverse efforts by 30%. They should have done this already, I think. But I think it's good. Yeah, this is Meta. Look at Meta. NASDAQ flying back up here. But yeah, the Giles Corey thing. So they wanted him to admit that he was a witch, basically. And so they kept adding weight to it. And if he admitted to it, the state would take all his stuff. He wouldn't be able to pass it on to his kids, right? And so he was well known for saying more weight. Like basically like, screw you guys. I'm not going to admit that and you're not going to take all my stuff. So it was a noble thing he did. Noble thing. NASDAQ push it up. We're at 671s. Look at 685s. We just tapped that. Meta sitting up to almost 675s right now. We tapped 685s in the NASDAQ. My wife was a descendant of the McCoys. Which one were the McCoys? Was that Bill Paxton? Or was that the other group? Yeah, the news is Meta is cutting 30% efforts. It's kind of a big reaction to this type of news, though. Again, Mark Zuckerberg reportedly planning up to 30% cuts for metaverse stuff. Amazon also said, given uncertainty, U.S. Postal Service auction process adds to our delivery network. We're evaluating all of the options. They continue to discuss ways to extend partnership with the U.S. Postal Service that would increase our spend with them. Don't even start to speak those unspoken numbers. The number 7 and the previous number before it. I've got 2 kids. I don't even want to hear those numbers anymore. All right. Meta's still looking strong here. Look at this. 674s. Gonna be cure. A lot of people losing jobs is the celebration. Honestly, we've seen markets react well to layoffs over the past 5 years plus because it's just better margins. Them reducing how much money they're spending on metaverse, I think, is a wise decision, regardless of the outcome of it. You know, like, we could frame everything in the worst context to make it seem cruel. The reality of it is, if you're still spending a boatload of money on the metaverse, you're probably throwing money away at this point in time, to be honest. NFTs have gone, you know, out the window, and so spending a bunch of money on that type of stuff is just completely unnecessary at this point in time, in my opinion. And I think markets agree, considering how well Meta is reacting to this. It's at 675.20s right now. No, I'm just messing, Tiny. It's all good. Yeah, the reason I said Bill Paxton is because he played in the series about the Hatfield and McCoys. Trying to figure out which family it was. I think the McCoys were the ones that had the businesses. The Hatfields were the ones that were kind of scorned, if I remember correctly. I might be backwards, though. Well, I mean, metaverse and NFTs are different. What I'm saying, though, is that there were a lot of NFTs intertwined with the metaverse. As well as, like, the metaverse has lost so much hype and attention. Nasdaq's flying up here, though. Look at Meta, almost to 680s. It's lost so much attention that spending a lot of money on it at this point in time is going to be seen as wasted money to investors, mostly. Yeah. Yeah, it's just way too early, 100%. It might work out long term, but as of now, it's too early. 100%. Agree. It's just too early at this point. Again, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. We're going to be day trading live at the opening bell here. Meta up to 681s right now. You love to see it. You love to see it. I'm still in it, just to put it into perspective. Nasdaq's pumping up here. Look at this, 713s. High of the day broke up like a minute ago. Nvidia up to 181.50s. Any catalyst news? Yeah, this is Meta laying off 30% of its metaverse projects, and markets like it. Bulls are in control right now. Man, I'm glad I held some of that Meta position because obviously this benefited me a ton. Looking at our poll, 55% are bullish for the opening bell. So far, the bulls are right. Is this enough Christmas for you guys? You're welcome. Are they going to cut rates in December? Probably. At this point in time, we take a look at yields. Again, yields are at 4.087% here. Yields are still pretty elevated. but they did pull back a little bit from the 4.1% highs that they were at earlier. Fed watch tool still showing 89% likelihood of a rate cut. So jobless claims didn't really put a dent in rate cut odds for December, and it's still looking 90-10 basically that we're going to cut rates. Meta up to 683s right now. 683s for Meta. Yeah, Meta did react, or market reacted to Meta news better than the jobs report. Well, Meta reacted. Meta's a Mag 7. So, like, if Meta makes this big move up, market's going to follow it most of the time. There's a big percentage right here. You know, so, like, NASDAQ's going to react to that because it's made up of Meta. You know? So... Meta 700s, yeah, Meta's flying. Nasdaq's still up, 685s right now. Amazon's up to 233s here as well as we speak here. Again, 30% cuts for metaverse stuff on Meta. Flying up here, 685s and 687s. NASDAQ over 725s right now. NVIDIA pumping up a little bit as well to almost 182s. Bitcoin going up a little bit with us as well. A little bit more slight for Bitcoin. It's up to 92.6s. I left for 5 minutes. Meta announced 30% cuts to the metaverse. Yeah, again, I think this is a little bit of an overreaction too. But listen, I'm okay with it. I think it's an overreaction. I think we're up way too much. And I'm in Meta. I profited from Meta going up a lot. But I still think this is probably a low overreaction here. Do I want to short it? I don't know. Too strong right now. But I do think it's a little bit of an overreaction. We have the Stellantis CEOs. They see strong demand for new U.S. products. On track for full year guidance, they say. 15 minutes into the opening bell. In liquidity and pre-market. Yeah, I mean, there's a big reaction to Meta. Look at Meta here. That's a wild reaction right now. And again, I want this to go up. I really do, but... All right, we're at 725s here, 725. Meta's starting to make another test of this pop up here at 687s. We're at 685s roughly. Bitcoin pulling down a little bit now, though. Gold. Technically green on the day. All right. Much as I like Christmas music here. Too many words. All right, we're at 42.35s on gold. Meta at 684s. Such a big range now. Do I want to short this? It's definitely a risky short, but we're going to try one handle. One micro is what we're going to try. Maybe we'll add to it. We got 15 minutes. add a little bit to this now. Take a little half off here, get out the rest. I'm just scalping these moves because it's so big. I don't want to get caught in a big rip up. The short work though, we got in really nice there. Could have probably held a little bit longer too. Meta starting to dip down to 681s. Gold's still technically green on the day, but it's very slight. It's basically flat. If Meta keeps pulling back. I'm watching 25.7s here, though. Bitcoin's popping up. Again, we got 10 minutes left, basically. Yeah, market's definitely following Meta here. Meta's dipping, Nasdaq's dipping. All right, so Netflix is in the lead in the bidding war for Warner Brothers Discovery, according to CNBC. Who's the other one? Paramount. All right, it's Netflix versus Paramount here in the Warner Bros. Discovery bids. Didn't Paramount said they would go hostile if they didn't win the bid? I think they did. They said that a couple days ago. Hostile takeover is when the company comes in and buys up all the shares to try to get controlling stake of the company, even without the company's approval. I want to buy the 700 dip here. Again, I think Meta was an overreaction, but 700 might hold us up here. All right, I'm going to buy as close to 700 as I can. Keep it small first, maybe add to it if I go green. If it doesn't work, I'll just cut it small. There we go. I cut it right there. I just don't trust this. Very small, but like, I think with these type of moves, this looks like a bull move, but always fake out the other way. Netflix's bid for Warner Bros. Is 85% cash, according to CNBC. Paramount bid is 100% cash. Maybe an overreaction, but market definitely seems optimistic with any good news. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, I think it's overreaction. It's an overreaction, I mean, but doesn't matter. Doesn't mean it's going to come back down. Could come back down, I don't know. Ooh. All right. All right, guys, we got 8 minutes until the opening bell. Let's see how the opening bell treats us today. They think the bidding is likely going to end early next week regarding Paramount, Netflix. Gold push it up a little bit here, going even firmer green at 42.37. All right, look at Bitcoin pop up. Gold's still rising here. Let's see if Meta bounces. Here's the level, 675, as well as the VWAP. I'll buy this again here. I got enough time to play with this, see if we hold. We got 2 micros, very small. Slightly green. This time we got 7 minutes. Okay. Hey, I appreciate the donation. Does anyone notice that the mini Santa rallies look like a bull trap on all the charts, like psychological trading chart? Yeah, maybe. Might be a little one. I mean, we are starting to see a rally earlier. Normally the Santa rally comes like last few weeks of December. We're seeing a rally the last few weeks of November now. We've kind of been seeing that for a little bit anyway. It doesn't mean we're not going to get a Santa rally, but a lot of people are skeptical now, thinking it came early and we're not going to get one in late December. I'm not sure. I appreciate the donation though. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're flat currently. Oh, we're a little red. Start cutting this now. Looks a little bit too. But we have 6 minutes. All right, guys, we got the opening bell in 5 minutes. All right, look at Meta. Meta just dipped under 675s. So if we're looking at trends, I don't know if can't is the right word. It's less likely with Japanese rate hike that we get a rally, but it's not out of the question completely. It's possible, you know. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes left until the market opens. Yeah, still rejecting the 700 level. Look at Meta dipping under 675. Ugh. Oh no, Meta's back up here. I would buy this if we weren't so close to the bell, I think, now that Meta's over this level. Hey, thank you. Maybe the best channel for trading commentary. We appreciate it. Definitely top 3, greatest ever. Do we go up or down at the bell, guys? Do we go up or down at the bell? Let me know. Up or down? Just pre and a little bit after the open. Look at Bitcoin, though. Bitcoin's making a move back up closer to 93,000. Hit 94,000 yesterday for a little while. All right, so I see dump, up, down, down, up, down, up, then down, quick up, then maybe down, up and to the right. All right, guys. Yeah, look at Bitcoin. Meta 675s, opening bells in 2 minutes. Yeah, I sold at like 670 something, 680. I'm still in a piece though, still. Left? That's a bold prediction. Bitcoin back up. $77's on Meta. Nasdaq's following it back up. I should have bought. We were just too close to the opening bell, to be honest. You think next year we get a recession? Not necessarily. It depends. We could. All right, guys, we got about a minute left. Hit the live button next to the play button, especially if when you hear the bell, it's a little bit delayed. Hit the live button next to the play button. You put it in 2x speed. It'll be more real time. Let's see what we get today, guys. Let's see what we get. We got 1 minute. The EU is going to review tariffs on Volkswagen's China-made EVs, apparently. This pop on the Nasdaq here. I don't think it's from Meta either. I think it's from Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia up to 182s. So Nvidia's rising. It's dragging the Nasdaq a little bit higher. If Meta follows it, maybe we'll get some good buys. But there also could be a correlation that Meta and Nvidia don't always help each other just because they can compete in some ways. But what I mean by that is that Meta recently announced they might use Google chips instead. So there might be not necessarily the most positive correlation, although the correlation has been positive so far. But Nvidia has ripped up over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the opening bell. Nasdaq coming down a little bit initially here with Nvidia and Meta. See what happens now. I see seeing drops at the open. Right down to that 200 exponential level here. Let's see if it holds. But these drops are kind of firm. Oh, I would buy this if it wasn't 1 minute after the bell. I'd buy right here. Maybe not. Definitely wouldn't have bought it. Yeah. All right. Maybe I should have bought it. Yeah, at first I thought we were just gonna smash underneath it, but we ended up bouncing right there where I said, you know. If it holds now, though, it looks like it's coming back down quick, but you never know. Could rip back up. I see Nvidia popping back up a little bit here. If Meta kind of needs to too, considering how much sway it has over markets this morning. All right, now we're dropping. Let's look at 650 right here. Ripped underneath that. 625 down here, maybe. Look at Bitcoin come all the way back down. We're seeing some red right now in markets, guys. A little scary. Still kind of want to buy it, but we can't quite yet. Yeah, Bitcoin falling down too. Nvidia's getting back up there. With 3 minutes in the day. I gotta wait a minute. I would buy this right now, but I have to stick to my rules. Because Nvidia isn't going up so quickly, it seems more likely that this is gonna rebound now. Alright, I'm gonna buy it. I got a kind of a bad fill there. That's alright. Alright, I took half off. Oh, y'all can't even see this trade. I took another half off. Here, I'll put the other account up that I'm trading. Alright, I bought it down here. I don't know, Nvidia kind of turned back down. I did get into a green trade just now. Not gonna buy it again though. And it's coming down too fast. Watching 625. I'll buy 625 if we get it, but I might not buy it at all. Actually, look how fast Nvidia is coming down here. Though. We bought this. How much is it? Yeah, we can trade it. We're gonna add to this here. Yikes. Alright, we're popping up. I'm gonna take half of this off right here. Oh, now we're down on that one too. Gonna have to slow it down. Looking steep right now in markets, guys. Let me see. Is there a reason for this? Or are we just kind of reacting to the opening bell? Look how steep this is right now. I gotta hands off it at this point. There's 550. What's dragging this down? There's got to be something. Meta's coming back down a little bit. Google, AMD. Okay, so we got into another green trade, believe it or not. I'm kind of switching between accounts, buying this dip at 550. Look at Nvidia shoot back up, though. I'm trying to see if there's news here. I don't really see anything yet. Support this. Got a cushion on the day now. Might add to it up here. We add a little bit more. Reject. There we go. Starting to. Go. Take half off right there, a third off. A little bit more. Why isn't it filling me? Why did it fill me like an hour late, bro? Anybody's orders being late this morning? Whoa, okay. I need to get out of some of these positions. They're late. Anybody else's orders coming through late? Like, I should have gotten out at the profit on that one, and I got out on the loss. Gonna be a little bit more iffy now. Yeah, we actually got into a nice trade here. Look at this. All right, so we were down net green on the day. It took us a long time though, dude. I'll short a bounce if we get one, but I need a bounce. Looks like the orders are back. It might have just been for a second. I refreshed mine. Maybe that helps. There's a pop. Add. I'll take some more here. I'm gonna bet on short. There we go. Looks like the downtrend's gonna continue. It does. There. Right, we took half off. Another piece off. Got it right there. Alright, we're grinding it up here. Again, I'm on top step right now. It looks like it's gotten better. No PDT roll in futures. Great way to learn. They're a sponsor of mine. Of course, I'm biased because I get paid by them, but genuinely useful. No PDT roll in futures. Get you around the PDT roll. Base one's $50 a month. Learning how to trade in this environment makes the most sense, in my opinion, because you're not risking thousands of dollars trying to fund your own account. Most of the time, at least. But again, you want to confirm it all with them. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. They recently lowered the activation fee universally, as well as gave you guys a no activation fee option. Really useful, really useful. Zero commission on Top Step X. A lot of cool stuff. I'll put the link up in chat. We're very green on the day now, but I'm also a little bit iffy about this just because look at NVIDIA up here, guys. NVIDIA up to 182.50s. Meta at 667, so I see some tech starting to fight its way back up. So I don't necessarily think the direction is clear at this point in time. I see AMD get towards the top of the range as well. So looking at NVIDIA, guys, up to almost 183s here. Bitcoin is falling a little bit here, but again, I'm kind of uncertain right now about which direction we're going. NVIDIA at 183s. I'm gonna short this now. See if I can add to it. There we go. That off. The rest work. You drop more. There we go. I'm gonna cut that. All right. Bitcoin back up to 92.7. Still in a pretty tight range. NVIDIA still pushing up. I'll take some larger risk here if I can. If we get up a little bit higher at 650s. Gonna short, but we already pushed down, so. All right, we got PCE inflation. Short again. Got a cushion on the day, so we got some room. There we go. Add to this. Take some off down there. Cut it. All right, I'm done trading on this account for the day. Go back to this one, see if we can build up some profit. Still dropping here, so the short thesis was right, but no trades, gold dumping, Nvidia will drag. Yeah, the range is tightened a lot. A lot of unknown decisive action here. I can try to start shorting with small size on this separate account. Oh my goodness. Somehow I capitalized on that big drop accidentally on the wrong account here, guys. All right, we're gonna go back to trading this one. I kind of wish I would have shorted on this one, but man, we caught that. Let's try to short now. Add a little bit to this if we can. We're close to the lows. There we go. There. We got 3 contracts. I wanted to reject that and go back down. Go. Yep. Yep. We're green on this account too. I will short a bounce up here again. Lagging a little bit to be honest, but on liquidity grab. Oh, I can feel it. Yeah, I gotta start cutting. I can feel the liquidity grab coming here. It's all good. Alright, here's another pop. I'm gonna short this now. We come right back down. There we go. Let it buckle a little bit, but I want to see it come right back down. There we go. Yep. I popped right before I cut it, but it's okay. I want to see it come right back down. I might add to this now. Go. There we go. That's good. Go, taking some off on the downside here. Gonna cut it right there, green. Maybe short a bounce. We get one, we might not catch it. Bounce. Alright, we're gonna add to this, take some of the cushion we have, see if we come back down. Promise green. There we go, we're very green now. Alright, I'm out. Up a lot today. Up 300-400. Oh, what do I want to do here? Yeah, remember we got PC inflation data tomorrow. Still bearish right now. Kind of chop it down a little bit here. I want to short. I might short a little bounce here if we get one on a liquidity grab type thing. If we get it, I kind of need a small bounce. And not big enough. All right, I'll start to add into this side. Go. Yep. There we go. You got a cushion on the day. I think I'm just going to swing for it right here. See if we reject fast. Oh, there's one. Should have waited for a good level though, but I want to wait. There we go. I'm going to take half of this off just to protect it. I'm still green on the day. I just don't want to risk too much here. I'm looking for a firmer rejection here on the short side since we're so close to lows. I just want to be patient for it, but there we go. There we go. Add to this. Yep. Start scaling out. If we add back to it here. We're so sideways right now. We don't really have any data that might swing us either direction here either. So if we push down now. Add a little bit up to 11 contracts. A risky thing for me here, but I just want to see if we liquidity grab over this level and flush back down. There we go. Yes, sir. Got it. I'm gonna add a little bit more to this. Two contracts here. Cut that. I mean, we're not gonna be red in this now, but I gotta give it some time. It looks bearish, but you never know. There we go. All right. Oof. All right, we're done for the day. Yeah, we're over $400 in profit on these two, so that's good. Scalping some momentum here. You'll have to see it. What time is it? Okay. Shorting's been easy today, though. Yeah, I don't see any news that might move markets. Now we're done? Probably. I don't think I'm going to trade anymore. I don't think it makes sense to. Again, check out Top Step. Up a lot on Top Step. Great way to learn. Most day traders lose. And so it's just a great way to learn. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities. Very similar to day trading stocks in terms of patterns. Teaches you how to trade. Learning in like a souped up demo account like this makes sense in my opinion. $50 a month risk for the base one versus funding thousands into your own account and probably losing it. You know what I mean? So I think it just makes sense this way. And yeah. Makes sense this way. Good luck, guys. Y'all be safe. Again, I'll put the link up one more time. We'll be back tomorrow. PCE inflation tomorrow, and as soon as we close this stream, it's going to bring you to the PCE inflation stream we got going on tomorrow. So So be ready for that. And yeah, I appreciate you guys choosing to hang out with me this morning. Will tomorrow be a red or green day? Let me know. AMD breaking down, NASDAQ falling. I could have kept shorting. Bitcoin falling too. Hold on, let me see if there's news real quick before I close this down. Paramount questions Warner Bros. Discovery on fairness. Yeah, I don't see any news. I think this is just red. All right, guys, I'm going to cut out. Y'all be good. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. PCE inflation tomorrow. Red, bears, green. All right. I'm actually leaving this time. Y'all be good. Have a great day.